Your number one station for news and updates. I'm your presenter Abdurrahman Yusuf, and tonight these are the stories that the Dalsan media fraternity has prepared for you tonight from our desk here in Mogadishu. Somali Special Envoy and UK Ambassador hold talks to expedite federal Somaliland negotiations. Kenya deploys thousands of forces and 14 forward operating bases to thwart Al-Shabaab threats. Somalia's ambassador resigns after being snubbed from Arab League summit delegation. Al-Shabaab calls for repelling of second phase of offensive by Somalia's front lines. Dalsan, the new British ambassador to Somalia, and Mike Varakis met in Mogadishu on Sunday to discuss the Somaliland discussions. The meeting's main goal was to hasten negotiations between Somaliland and the federal government of Somalia. Mr. Goulet praised the UK government for assisting the Somali government and people after the ambassador stated his support for the program.
On Sunday, Somali Special Presidential Envoy for Somaliland talks, Abdikarim Hussein Guled, met with the new British ambassador to Somalia, Mike Varakis, in Mogadishu. The meeting focused on expediting talks between the federal government and Somaliland. The ambassador expressed his support for the initiative, and Mr. Guled thanked the UK government for supporting the Somali government and its people. The meeting took place shortly after the chairman of Somaliland's opposition UCID party, Faisal Ali Warabe, called on Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud to replace his special presidential envoy due to his recent speech regarding the conflict in Las Anod. In his speech, the envoy called on both sides to create distance between their forces in Las Anod. Since February the 6th of this year, the town of Las Anod has been the epicenter of fierce clashes between the forces of the breakaway region of Somaliland and local militias from the Dhulbahante clan. The ongoing conflict has resulted in at least 150 dead, approximately 600 wounded, and 185,000 displaced from the town. The fighting in Las Anod has drawn widespread international condemnation and raised fears that the conflict may escalate into a regional war. The UK ambassador and the Somali Special Envoy for Somaliland talks is seen as a step in the right direction towards finding a peaceful solution to the conflict in Las Anod. The UK's ambassador expressed support for accelerating talks between the federal government and Somaliland. The UK has long been a partner of Somalia, providing humanitarian aid, development assistance, and supporting the Somali government's efforts to promote peace and stability in the country. The UK also played a key role in the formation of the Joint Financial Management Board, or JFMB, which oversees the management of donor funds to Somalia. The JFMB has been instrumental in ensuring that donor funds are used effectively and transparently in Somalia. The international community's support for accelerating talks between the federal government and Somaliland is a clear indication of the commitment to finding a lasting solution to the conflict in Las Anod. Reporting for Dalsan TV News, I'm Ahmed Abdirashid Nourgesi.
The Kenya government has stationed thousands of its security forces at the border with Somalia in an effort to stop future attacks in the East Africa country by terrorist organizations Al-Shabaab. The Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations received the ministry's budget for the financial year 2023 to 2024. Kenya's Defense Minister Adam Barre Duale, who also underlined the country's commitment to enhancing security measures.
In a bid to avert potential attacks in the East African nation by the terrorist group Al-Shabaab, the Kenyan government has deployed thousands of its security forces along its border with Somalia. Kenya's Defense Minister Adam Barre Duale reaffirmed the country's commitment to bolstering its security measures and presented the ministry's budget for the financial year 2023 to 2024 to the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. The Defense Ministry has confirmed that 14 fully equipped forward operating bases, or FOBs, have been constructed along the Kenya-Somalia border ahead of the planned drawdown of the Kenyan Defense Forces from Somalia. The FOBs serve as military installations that provide troops with the ability to respond quickly to threats and provide a secure base of operations. The ministry aims to intensify its efforts to secure Kenya's borders from infiltration by Al-Shabaab fighters. Duale emphasized the need to ensure that Al-Shabaab does not find refuge in Kenya when they feel threatened by the security forces in Somalia. To achieve this, the government is committed to implementing more measures to bolster security along the border. These measures will also serve as a protective barrier against other potential security threats such as illegal arms trafficking. Kenya Defense Forces drawdown from Somalia, known as the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, is imminent. The Defense Ministry's effort to strengthen border security come at an opportune moment to ensure that Kenya is secure when ATMIS forces withdraw from the Horn of Africa region. The Ministry of Defense has been cost-effective and has efficiently executed projects, including the construction of the 14 FOBs, within the shortest periods possible. Due to Kenya's strategic geographical position, the Defense Ministry remains committed to partnering with the country's civil authorities in undertaking government projects that enhance the force posture of the Kenyan Defense Forces. The Kenyan government's deployment of thousands of its security forces in constructing of 14 FOBs along the Kenya-Somalia border is a critical move towards enhancing national security, especially in light of the imminent Advis drawdown. Reporting for Dalsan TV News, I'm Ahmed Abdurrashid Nurgesi.
Salim Mwao Haji, Somalia's ambassador to Saudi Arabia, resigned on Monday, citing his exclusion from delegation attending the Arab League summit in Jeddah. The move has raised concern about rifts within the Somali government and its relation with Saudi Arabia. In a letter circulated online, the ambassador alleged he was mistreated and insulted by the director of protocol for Somali President Hinda Uslow, who refused him a meeting with Hassan Sheikh Mohamud during his visit to Saudi Arabia.
Salim Mwao Haji, Somalia's ambassador to Saudi Arabia, resigned on Monday, citing his exclusion from the delegation attending the Arab League summit in Jeddah. The move has raised concerns about rifts within the Somali government and its relations with Saudi Arabia. In a letter circulated online, the ambassador alleged that he was mistreated and insulted by the director of protocol for Somali President Hinda Uslow, who also refused him a meeting with Hassan Sheikh Mohamud during his visit to Saudi Arabia. These incidents led to his decision to resign, according to the letter. This resignation has sparked concerns about the strained relationships between the Somali government and some of its key allies in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia has been an important ally of Somalia, providing support and aid in various areas, including security and economic cooperation. The United Arab Emirates, in particular, has been vocal in its opposition to the move, arguing that it undermines Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The resignation of Salim Mwao Haji is likely to further complicate relations between Saudi Arabia and Somalia. The move is also expected to impact the regional security situation. The resignation of Salim Mwao Haji is likely to further complicate relations between Saudi Arabia and Somalia. The move is also expected to impact the regional security situation, particularly as Somalia grapples with a long-running conflict with Al-Shabaab terrorist group. Despite these concerns, there have been calls for dialogue and collaboration between Somalia and its allies to address the challenges facing the country. These calls emphasize the need for unity and collaboration to overcome the obstacles that impede the country's progress.
Following a conference attended by Al-Shabaab leaders, early traditional leaders and religious scholars, the group has called on its fighters and the Somali people to repel the second phase of an upcoming offensive by Somalia's frontline states. During the conference, dubbed Second Consultative Forum of the Jihad in East Africa, attendees, including Al-Shabaab's leadership, issued a communique stating that it's obligatory on the Mujahideen and Somali people in general to cooperate in repelling and thwarting the second phase Crusader campaign led by Ethiopian Christians with their lives and wealth, just as they participated in the thwarting the previous campaign of the apostate tribal militia.
Following a conference attended by Al-Shabaab leaders, allied traditional leaders and religious scholars, the group has called on its fighters and the Somali people to repel the second phase of an upcoming offensive by Somalia's frontline states. During the conference dubbed the Second Consultative Forum of the Jihad in East Africa, attendees including Al-Shabaab leaders issued a communique stating that it is obligatory on the Mujahideen and the Somali people in general to cooperate together in repelling and thwarting the second phase of the Crusader campaign led by Ethiopian Christians with their lives and wealth, just as they participated in the previous campaign of those apostate tribal militia, Al-Shabaab said. In a statement shared on social media, the Somali insurgent group accused Ethiopia of pursuing historical ambitions to capture towns including Zeila, Mogadishu and Balad. The group also claimed that the Ethiopian military has launched an offensive to capture Likdere in Lower Shabelle. Additionally, the group expressed about the Emirati intervention in Somalia. They accused the UAE of having malevolent agenda to establish mercenary militias in Somalia to destroy the country and subdue it for its enemies, as they have done in Yemen, Libya, and Syria. These accusations followed the controversial agreements made by the Somali government with the United Arab Emirates. The Al-Shabaab statement has raised concerns about possible escalations of violence, in particular in regions bordering Ethiopia. The call for repelling the offensive by Somalia's frontline states could lead to further attack by Al-Shabaab on government troops on civilians. The Somali government has not yet responded to the Al-Shabaab statement. However, international partners in Somalia have urged all parties, including Al-Shabaab, to prioritize the well-being and safety of Somali citizens above all else. They have also called for continued cooperation and dialogue to find solutions to Somalia's security challenges.
That's all we are prepared for you tonight. Kindly keep tabs and follow us more on our subsequent stories. Have yourself a lovely night.